Hey guys, it's Katelyn Lesk. I wanted to share a message with you today that's been on my mind and my heart a lot lately, and a lot of people I've been talking to I think have been struggling with the same issues. So I wanted to share something based on my story that hopefully will help you too. So the topic is not to let other people's goals and expectations dictate your goals and your expectations, which in turn ends up dictating your life. So often, I think we look at other people and we see what we're doing or what they're doing, and we see the pace that they're working, and we think that that has to be our pace. We see their goals and we think that if our goals aren't where their goals are, that we're not doing enough or we're not shooting high enough. And I'm not talking about seeing other people and being inspired by what they're doing. I'm talking about when we look at other people and we compare our lives or our goals to theirs and we feel like we're not good enough or we're not doing enough. So an example I want to give you is from when I first started coaching. About 5 months into the business, I really was going all out, really hitting some big goals. And I was comparing my goals to the goals of people that had been in the business longer and were more successful. And I was really driving hard to hit certain milestones. And what I noticed at that time was I really just started to feel overwhelmed, and I started to lose touch with why I fell in love with coaching to begin with. So that was a point in my business about 6 months in where I really made the decision to shift my focus and focus only on what I loved and make sure I never lost touch with doing what I loved and focusing on what I loved and letting the milestones sort of fall into place naturally as opposed to like constantly pushing and striving to hit them. Some people might disagree with that approach, so that's okay. Their goals are different than mine. They don't know my vision. They don't know my personality or my lifestyle or my priorities, just like I don't know theirs. So when I did that, it was hard because I really had to let go of thinking that certain coaches that were more successful than me, who were maybe trying to help me, were then looking down on me for not necessarily measuring up to where they thought I should be. And that might not have even been the case. They might not have even been thinking that, because obviously anytime we're comparing, we're always having these perceptions of what we think other people are thinking. We have no way of knowing. So it was hard, but it was extremely intentional. And I'm so grateful that I did it that way, because now I'm still a coach 4.5 years later, and I just have such a joy for what I do. I've loved every second of it. And maybe on paper, I'm not where I could have been if I would have pushed, but I know that there is not a happier coach out there because I did things the way I wanted to, intentionally focusing on what I love, not just focusing on the push that I felt like the rest of the world tells us we always have to be in. So if you're somebody who thrives on that push, go for it. I'm not saying there's a right or wrong way. I'm just saying that we have to really be intentional with who we are, what our personalities are, and just live aligned with that and not let other people's expectations kind of dictate what our expectations and our goals should be. So that being said, I still haven't mastered this. It's still something I have to constantly work on, where I have people who are giving me suggestions of things to focus on and trying to help me move my business forward in awesome ways. But I still have to be really selective about what advice I take and what goals I want to focus on based on what's aligned with me. So while I appreciate tons of people helping and I love the input that I get, I still want to pick and choose based on what's most aligned with me. I still, 4.5 years later, want to stick to the decision that I never want to lose the joy in this, and that I always want that to be first and foremost, and then whatever goals want to fall in place along the way, that's awesome. So my point is that whatever you're doing in life, I see this a lot with clients that I work with their workouts. They dictate what their goals should be for their workouts based on what everybody else is doing or what they think they're supposed to be doing. So I have people that are new moms or in med school or work super busy jobs thinking they need to be working out 6 or 7 days a week. And I'm the first to tell them, slow down. Why don't we try to set your goal as something that feels totally manageable, like 1 or 2 days a week. And then anything above and beyond that is a bonus. It's going to give you momentum. It's going to give you motivation. It's going to fuel your self-confidence. But even if you just hit that 1 or 2, that's total progress. And it's way better than when I see people biting off more than they can chew and then falling off the wagon altogether. So from that perspective, I think workouts are the same way. Don't look at what other people are doing. Don't look at what you see me doing or other people that are coaches maybe and think that you have to measure up in some way. Like, I work out probably less than you think. I would say I average about 5 days a week, but it's also my job. So don't look at what other people are doing and think that yours has to be the same way, because your lifestyle, your priorities, the demands on your time are different than mine. And so just when I look at people that are super focused on their career and their jobs and they're push, go, work 24/7, hustle nonstop, that's not me. And sometimes I feel like because I'm an entrepreneur and I have my own business that I need to be working at that level to be successful. But I know that if I work at that level, I'm going to burn out and I'm not going to be happy. And success in my book has to come with happiness and joy, not just success on paper or financial gains or whatever anyone else might define as success. So one last example I'll give. I saw one of my friends, Chelsea, posted something about when she was in church the other week, feeling like your spirituality practice has to be yours, and you can't look at other people that you know and see how they're practicing and feel like yours has to be in the same way, and you still have to make it your own. So I just thought that was a really interesting point, that we often look to people in business, in religion, as she was speaking of, or in workouts, and we look at the people that are in a place of what we consider authority and think that we have to be measuring up to what they're doing in order to be successful. So I'll just end with giving you 3 tips of what I think has really helped me in defining what's important to me and what my goals and expectations should be. I look all done up, Phil. No, I just showered today, that's all. Thanks, though. So anyways, my 3 tips are, when you're being intentional, that is really just knowing what your true priorities are. So for me, that's taken a lot of self-reflection, journaling. Before I started coaching, I really got down to business with journaling. When in my life have I been the happiest? When have I felt the most effective? When have I felt alive and energized and excited? And I really incorporated that to what I want my day-to-day life to look like. And I've lived by that ever since. And of course, there's constantly tweaking and realigning, but in general, I always come back to that. And I recognize that there are seasons where I'm going to be busier at work, and I recognize there are seasons where I'm going to have my foot off the accelerator a little bit. And I love that cyclical lifestyle. But it is just important to really get to know yourself and what's important to you and live from that. So the one last tip I'll give that I think has been really helpful is when an opportunity is presented to you, there's always going to be some fear with something new and anytime you're getting out of your comfort zone. But there's a difference between being excited and it feeling expansive and wanting to take that on, and there's a total difference when you feel contracted and you feel like, ugh, that's just not me. So when I feel that ick feeling, I know that's an opportunity that however good it may look and however awesome the possibilities with it might be, that's one that's not aligned with what I am about and what I want to live my life by, and that's easy for me to say no to. So I hope that helps. Point is, we always see what other people are doing on Facebook and social media. I don't know about you, but I listen to a ton of podcasts, motivational YouTube videos, and we get all this input and we think we have to be doing it all. And when we're not, we feel like we're not measuring up, we're not good enough, we're not doing enough, but that's just not the case. So my recommendation to you is to just really get to know yourself and be true to who you are. And the more you practice that, the more you practice saying no to things that aren't aligned and doing what you know is right for your lifestyle, the stronger that muscle will become. And it's a practice. It'll build your self-confidence. So being intentional is the best thing that any of us can do. So whatever your goals are, allow them to be dictated by what you know about yourself and not what everybody else is doing, not what you think other people are perceiving of you, not what you think you should be doing, because it's all relative. And you want to just make this the happiest, most joyful experience you can as you go through the process. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate the comments, and I'll respond to some of the rest of the comments when I jump off of here. But I hope that helps, and I hope everybody has a great week. I'll see you guys soon.